It's time for the KickAround, the Ticket's weekly show all about soccer. 2 hours of HSOs on the clubs, leagues, and tournaments of the world's game. It doesn't matter if you're new to the sport, don't worry. This is the Ticket. We're just kicking it around. Now, here's two guys who still have their moms drive them to practice. Andy Swift and Peter Welpton.
It's that moment there from Ollie Watkins, Summersville a second half.
Oh, where's John Victor gone? John McGinn for Aston Villa. It's an absolute gift from the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper, and McGinn helps himself to a second goal in the game. Well, that is one of the worst goalkeeping decisions you'll see this season from John Victor.
Howdy ho, P1s, and welcome to the KickAround. Saturdays, at whatever available time slot Ticket programming affords us. Here on Sports Radio 96.7 and 1310 The Ticket, where you, the good P1, sits around, talks soccer, and all that implies. Hello. My name is Peter, and to my left, but to your right, as you stare with great love and anticipation and admiration into your broadcasting box or streaming device, it is the world's most interesting TCU fan, Andy Dalton Swift.
Happy New Year, Peter. Good to see you.
Happy New Year to you too.
2026. It's the first show of 2026.
It is the first show of 20. Yes, that is correct. You well noted, Andy.
Yeah.
It's been a bit since I have seen you, or we last did a radio show.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
Anything happen?
Some soccering happened. Okay. We had a holiday season. Did you get anything? Did you get anything soccer oriented as a Christmas gift?
Oh my God! Whoever gifts me anything soccer oriented gets booted from my life. Warning to everybody.
Why is that?
I don't know.
You just don't want anything.
I hate you.
That's what you don't want, any soccer stuff. You didn't get.
I get enough
a
soccer
jersey.
I need to move along soccer stuff. Do you want some soccer stuff?
Are you going to have a big soccer garage sale at some point?
I should.
Could you imagine the Andy Swift soccer garage sale?
Man.
Estate sale?
I should get a, what do you call those big lights? For big events?
Yeah.
What do you call the you know what I'm talking about?
The crates?
No, the big lights.
Oh, the spotlights?
Spotlight.
No,
yeah,
the spotlight.
Yeah.
How many Dave Durr bobbleheads could you auction off?
Dave Durr never had a bobblehead, but Jason Christ did.
I have one of those.
Landon Donovan.
Yeah. Wait, Dave Durr never got a bobblehead?
No.
Oh, that's a crime.
We would never do it for coaches back in the day. Before, like now bobbleheads are so every day.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a bobblehead.
That's true.
Back then, it was only the stars got bobbleheads. Back when people would line up for hours. Remember the bobblehead days when people would line up for hours?
Yes. All right. So I don't mean to go into the Wayback Machine to the Dallas Burn days, but
you are.
I am going to do this. Was Jason Christ the only Burn player to ever get a bobblehead?
I can't recall of another.
Hugo Sanchez didn't get one.
No.
Because he was only here for a blank.
Season, yeah.
Leonel Alvarez didn't get one.
No. At least through the Burn years.
Did Mark Dodd
get
one?
No.
Jason Christ might be the
only
only Burn.
Yeah.
Did Oscar get one?
He might have gotten one after the name switched to FC Dallas prior to him retiring.
It's weird because I have a Jason Christ bobblehead in my garage.
Well, it's probably worth
sitting on top of a refrigerator.
You don't have it on your mantle in your home office?
I don't even know how it ended up in the garage.
I have two MLS related bobbleheads. Landon Donovan and Jason Christ. I have a whole bunch of ticket bobbleheads back in the day. Do you have those?
I don't have those. Kat has a whole lineup of them in his office.
Yeah.
Including the Hammer one, the very rare
the Hammer
Greg Hammer bobblehead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I never thought about that. Jason Christ might be the only Burn player to ever get a bobblehead.
Yeah. Burn. Because maybe they had FC Dallas.
Oh, there was absolutely FC Dallas ones. The Landon Donovan one. Is he an Earthquake or a Galaxy player?
Earthquake.
All right.
Yeah. Earthquake.
Is that pre or post hairpiece, Landon Donovan?
Of course, pre
with his original hair.
Because post is just 6 months, right? Is it weird? I don't want to take this conversation off the rails here, but have you watched him recently? And like either a podcast or
Yes.
like a vlogcast. What do you call a video podcast?
Just podcast.
Yeah. Or I don't know.
I watch him and Tim Howard
It's
on
just
the
weird. He does look a lot younger though.
Boy,
Yeah.
it is wild when you see Landon without hair and with his hairpiece. It's like you suddenly subtract 20 years off that dude.
Yeah.
It's amazing the change. Like nothing else changes about him except now you've stuck something on top of his head and he looks so much younger. Now, I will also say that the hairpiece looks really good from the front, but also looks really janky from the side. If you haven't seen pictures of it from the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks weird from
So
the
I've
side.
been informed that Oscar did have a bobblehead, and I look it up online, and there is one of Oscar with a burn uniform.
Okay,
So
all right.
also as a manager, so that was
So who was the...
that was Papa Swift
I need
informing me.
Your dad?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow. All right. All right, Papa Swift.
Making sure I get that burn history right.
I'm impressed Papa Swift is into burn history.
Yeah.
Boy, you could tell Andy and I haven't done the show or seen each other in a while because we haven't started anything and we've already reverted to burn talk.
All right.
All right. Well, let's move into the stuff people care about here. Obviously, the big headline of the week, Andy, is the drama happening for our friends who are fans of a club called Chelsea.
Yeah. Question for you. When you read for the first time, right? You probably read it within minutes of it being announced because you're always on top of soccer news.
That's
you
right.
being Mr. Soccer. Were you
Mr. Soccer.
I know that ultimately we're not surprised, but were you like surprised?
I was surprised
We're talking about Chelsea's manager.
Yeah,
being
so
let go, by the
Maresca,
way.
they're saying it's mutual parting of the ways, and I
whatever.
think that's probably a fair
Okay.
way of saying it. But he's no longer the manager at Chelsea, and that happened this week. And it also came after a bunch of really weird
Yes.
comments on his part.
Like the worst 48 hours of his life or something like that.
Yes, and Lars and I were talking about this, and we had a really good laugh that we wondered if maybe what had happened in that 48 hours is that he got caught up in one of Todd Bowley's famous text exchanges. You remember that when Tuchel was the manager, and part of the reason why Tuchel got in trouble was that he wouldn't reply, he wouldn't participate in the text exchanges.
Really? I don't remember this.
He got
at
totally
all.
ass-whipped about all of the texting that was going on or something. It was always this side story that was going on. But it was really funny because you could just see this American Todd Bowley just ass-whipping Thomas Tuchel with text after text.
Because they'd lost 2 straight games or something.
Right, or he's just like, okay, so this is, what do you do? What's this rule? Or So I just made, when he said it was the worst 48 hours he had in his time at Chelsea, it just made me wonder if he was just getting text whipped.
By the way, I've heard Bowley's a lot less involved now on the,
I've
on
heard
the
this
team
too.
side.
Yeah, I've heard this too. So anyway, to answer your question, no, I wasn't ultimately surprised. I think I was just surprised at the timing.
Exactly, yeah.
Especially because they've got City coming up this weekend.
Yeah, well,
which
just the timing in general.
and then the word had come out that he had spoken to City,
right?
Or City had reached out to him, and it turns out that
maybe they couldn't have him against City because he.
So it turns out that in his deal with Chelsea, he was obligated to inform Chelsea if anybody reached out to him or he had been contacted or had contact with another club. So that's how all this went. We'll talk more about the Maresca and Chelsea situation a little bit later in the show. I'm just going to admit something here. This makes me a bad soccer radio host, but I have not been consuming AFCON.
It's hard because it's on
BN Sport.
BN Sport, which is hard for us to get.
I don't get BN Sport easily. You just have to go out and buy a subscription to it.
One thing I was, because we're going to talk about something really weird that went down in AFCON this edition, and there seems to be something really weird happen all the time in AFCON. So I was refreshing my memory and looking at some of those up. While I was doing that, I'm like, only 24 teams play in AFCON. How do they get to where they like
AFCON
how many
qualifiers?
There are 52 countries in the African Football Confederation. Did you know there were that many?
I knew there was a ton, but I didn't know it was 52.
So they have to go from 52 to get to 24. So, they eliminate basically half of them. It just seems weird. It's just crazy.
It is. I mean, it's a tournament that historically always has its fair share of
wheels off moments.
Right, but man, and it's also having some attendance issues. This particular tournament, yeah, not all the games have been well attended.
Is it in Morocco?
It's in,
which doesn't bode well for a future World Cup country, does it? World Cup like a host. Country.
I guess. So
2030.
Morocco's still the favorite to win this deal.
Yeah.
The round of 16 kicked off today.
But by the way, Morocco, the favorites to win it, playing at home, one of probably the top African country at the moment, and really a top 20 national team in world soccer. Won their first game in AFCON, then drew their second game. This is a regular round-robin 3-game group stage match where the top 2 advanced. The third place also advances. They drew and were booed off the field by the home crowd. Wow.
Expectations are high with the Moroccans, man.
Yes. Jeez.
There's a reason why people did not want Morocco
in
their group
for
the World Cup.
And Brazil got them, right?
Yes.
Ultimately?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if, for those who didn't watch the draw, the early piece of drama in the draw was when Brazil got, put in its pot, and the first team drawn against them was Morocco, and everybody just assumed that was going to end up being the group of death.
Yeah.
It didn't work out that way.
Because the other two are Guineas.
But Morocco versus Brazil is going to be a fantastic game. So Senegal beat Sudan earlier today in the first of the round of 16 games. Mali and Tunisia is getting ready to kick off at 1 o'clock today. And so it's an interesting tournament. Obviously, the big story of the tournament is that the country of Gabon and the Gabonese government decided to essentially – what did they suspend the national team?
Dissolve.
Oh, that's right.
Dissolve.
Yes. Like
you're done. No more national team.
Dissolve the coaching staff and the team after they went 3 and out in the group stage.
Yes, it's like if when was the last time the U.S. went 3 and out? Like in 2006.
Yes.
In the World Cup. If who was president? Was it George Bush in 6? I think it was, right?
Yeah.
If he says, you know what, no more national soccer team. Done.
Right.
We're done.
If Trump decided, if the U.S. goes out in the group stage and Trump goes, screw it, we're just not going to play soccer anymore.
Yes. Not only that, sounds
like that could actually happen.
Yeah. Some of the players were
Aubameyang, so the former Arsenal great,
or
well-known Arsenal striker who's playing for them. Him and another player got completely thrown out. Like they can never come back to play for the team ever again.
Because it was a 3 and out.
I guess. Now, my understanding, you could help me with this, doesn't FIFA fundamentally have some sort of stance about government intervention?
Yes, you can't. Your federation gets suspended, and you can't participate in competitions if the government gets involved and runs the federation. But if they did away with the national team, I guess they don't care if they're not going to play in any competitions, right?
Right. So, by the way, one of the other great things about the African Cup of Nations is the collection of nicknames for African teams. Like Morocco is the Atlas Lions, Mali are the Eagles, Egypt are known as the Pharaohs, South Africa,
not the
Bafana. Right, exactly. But there's a bunch in here that I've never heard before. And I can't even pronounce some of these. Comoros. How do you pronounce this word, Andy? At the bottom of the page.
Comoros. Oh, Colcans. What does that even mean?
It's an ancient fish that was thought to be extinct until
the colcacanth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the colcacanth. Okay, now that you describe it,
is an African word for copper bullets. Chipolopolo.
Chipolopolo?
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Palancas negras, the black sable antelopes.
Palancas negras. And what country is that?
Angola.
Angola, okay, because they were Portuguese.
The Carthage
colony.
Eagles, the Tegranga Lions. Uganda are just known as the Cranes. I mean, see, soccer needs more nicknames,
it's rich.
Dude.
Yeah, it's rich. We should, why don't we commit, and next week is the FA Cup weekend, and if we do have a show, we won't have a lot of EPL, obviously, to talk about. Why don't we dedicate a segment to AFCON and past weird things that have happened and provide an update of who's advanced.
Now, speaking of the World Cup, which we will do a World Cup nerd segment here later in the show, unfortunately, FIFA and Infantino are poking their head up out of the sand talking about the offside law. So what has come back into the discussion is Arsene Wenger's version of offside, which is
still involved.
Yes. So for those who don't know, Arsene Wenger's been running around for a while trying to make the case that offside should be adjudicated by the attacker being clear of the last defender, meaning that there's daylight.
Yeah.
So it's like it's completely the reverse of how offside is called today.
Yeah. If any part of the attacker is overlapping with the last defender, he's onside. Yeah.
Yes, onside. Correct.
Onside,
Yes.
It's much more forgiving for the attacking player.
I think this is a terrible idea. Especially leading up to a World Cup.
You don't think it's much easier to detect?
No, I think it'll be.
You think it'll be harder?
I think it makes more sense for television and VAR because of slow-mo and freeze frame. But I would say is running the line, trying to decide daylight in real time would be harder to do that than what you're being asked to do today. That's just my...
Or maybe the same, actually, right?
Ultimately, it's going to come down to frustrating everybody because you're still freezing a frame and trying to pick out a moment when the touching of the ball still is... I guess in the World Cup, touching of the ball is a digital process because of the chip. But
what happens, though, is you get the same level of frustration, but the scoring goes up, and maybe that's what they want to promote.
Well, but the alternative to that is if you are a manager and you're having this problem, what is the defensive response? Play deeper.
You park the bus even deeper.
You play deeper.
Yeah, right.
And depending on how it actually plays out, if in fact they try to do this, and they apparently have been testing it in some lower leagues and youth tournaments and things like that. And people seem to like it. I've never seen it actually.
Is it coming to MLS near you soon?
Probably. I've never seen it actually in practice, so I don't know for sure. I'm just kind of making a guesstimate on my own. But that is being talked about a lot, and they're talking about instituting it for the World Cup.
Why don't y'all try it out and pick up soccer on Sundays and report back?
We would if somebody would come back and play with us again, but he's retired from the game.
Yes.
It turns out.
Preserving my body in my old age.
So we got a lot of stuff to get into today. We've got lots of Premier League talk. We are going to catch everybody up with the U.S. men's national team. Believe it or not, there are more games due to be played. They've got some games to play here in the coming weeks leading up to the World Cup. They've got some injury stuff, and something from the Federation. Andy, don't look this up.
I'm not. I'm intrigued because you told me you were going to ask me something.
The Federation announced the slogan for the national team.
Oh, interesting. Now I want to look it up.
I got questions. We'll talk about that. And we'll also do World Cup Nerd and the Dribble before the end of it. Let's take a break. When we come back, let's go through the day in the Premier League, including a big win for Wolves next year on the KickAround. We will discuss the changes at Chelsea and what it means at large for both the club and the league here a little bit later on, probably about 15, 20 minutes here on the KickAround. Welcome back. We are on early today. We're on till 2:30 today. What's on it? What's on? Is it football? Football ball? EA? Okay, so there's football on after us. So we are on early today, and I think we're on early again next week. So we'll keep you posted on that.
Don't assume anything until you hear
until
officially, Peter. Come on, man.
All right, so we are on the tail end of another Christmas or holiday calendar of games. Andy, how much of the schedule have you consumed in the last couple of weeks?
Was one of the teams playing named Liverpool?
Yes,
a lot.
Yeah.
Was one of the teams playing not named Liverpool? Very, 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 very little.
You're just a Liverpool consumer.
During the holidays, yeah, because there's other stuff going on, right? I mean, it's the holidays. There's activities and parties and traveling and
dressing up.
People dressing up and
food,
wine. I said, okay, well, it's the weekend. It's Saturday. We have a show. Let's just fully commit and dive right into today's schedule. Let me pull it up here. I said it this morning. Let's see what we have. Who came up with these matchups all clustered together in one fine morning, where we had Forest,
You're disappointed?
Burnley, Wolves, and the Hammers all playing. Like, these are the 4 worst teams in the league, and they all played at the same time this morning, giving us nothing.
Well, you got a fantastic John McGinn from half field goal in the early game for Aston Villa. Did you see that? It was our goal call at the beginning of the game.
The goalie
Yeah,
No.
You didn't enjoy that?
No.
No, it's not a fantastic slate of games, and it is frustrating that all of the games, there are so many games lined up tomorrow. There are 6 games tomorrow, which is the meat of the weekend schedule.
I'm just wondering why it worked out this way. I mean, who really was somebody like thinking, know what? We'll just put these.
I mean, a lot of these teams just played a few days ago.
Yeah.
And so that's why they get pushed to Sunday.
Okay.
And then, and by the way, there's a whole slate of games coming up on Wednesday.
There are midweek games.
Yeah, so I mean, we're not really done with this entire deal until the next until after Wednesday, because as you said, next weekend is FA Cup.
Just Premier League.
Yeah. So this morning at 6:30, Aston Villa coming off their second half hiding at Arsenal.
Golly.
End up facing against Forest today. Now, Forest, did you get up early to watch this?
Yeah, I watched the game.
Villa, this is actually pretty interesting because Lars has been spending a lot of time trying to make the case that Villa is not as good as their record.
Really?
Yeah, because he said the numbers really belie the fact that, they're outperforming their XG and there's all sorts of statistical stuff. Lars loves him some data.
Lars.
But then Villa just kept, getting results, winning games late, coming back from behind. And then everybody said, well, we'll see what we'll get in the Arsenal game. And sure enough, while 0-0 at halftime, Arsenal said, "Okay, we're done. We're done playing with our food," and finished them off.
Yeah,
well, today,
that was a statement win.
Villa hosted Forest. They end up winning this game 3-1.
I thought they looked good.
They did.
It wasn't, to me, it wasn't much of a contest.
No, it got interesting when Forest scored to make it 2-1 a little bit.
Did it?
Just because Forest started to assert themselves a little bit, and I thought, will Villa succumb to this and end up blowing it? But no, they didn't. They ended up scoring a third and ended up winning pretty handily 3-1.
That goalkeeper, by the way, can I ask you real quick, because I don't know much of the backstory here.
Vincent John,
yeah, he's the backup. He started
Vincent
today for some reason.
The other guy's been hurt.
Okay, the first goal could have probably done better with that. He went.
Oh, Ollie Watkins.
He went down low. He started to go low on a shot that was coming high. So as a goalkeeper,
I thought
that
Ollie
matters.
Watkins hit that really well.
He did. And then
so if you haven't seen it, for the third goal, the ball gets chipped in from behind, and I think he thinks the ball's going to roll to him at the top of the box or just outside the box.
A little bit farther up than top of the box.
Well, no, so he goes out to meet the ball, and about halfway he realizes he's got himself in a no man's land, and John McGinn just kind of. By the way, John McGinn's finish. Yeah, the bend on it.
That was good.
Have you seen the image from behind him where you can actually see the ball go left to right?
Yeah. I like watching the fans behind because they think the ball's going out and they're like, oh, and then they get up. By the way, the keeper got hurt trying to get back.
I think he hurt his pride.
Ah, okay, because he was crying.
Well, yeah. Wouldn't you if you had done that?
He had to be subbed off.
Okay.
And he was crying.
All right, so I'm asking you the question. Is he actually physically hurt, or was he so embarrassed at his goof that he subbed himself out?
No, he was hurt.
You think?
Yeah.
Because I watched the replay. I couldn't figure out what he could have done to have hurt himself.
He tweaked something.
His feelers is what it was.
Poor guy.
Let's see. Brighton hosted Burnley today. That was a snoozer, too. 2-0 for the Seagulls.
There was men playing and boys playing.
Not an exciting game whatsoever, but congratulations to Brighton for pulling that off. And then the big result of the day, believe it or not, and Lars said this the other day. I heard him say this. Lars is predicting that West Ham are getting relegated, and today they lose at Wolves, and it wasn't even close, 3-0.
Against the we have to say that against the team that hadn't won yet.
Their first win of the season. They doubled their points total for the season with these 3 points today.
Halfway through the season, Wolves was at a minus 29 goal difference heading into today. And this is who the Hammers lost to.
Yeah, so the situation at West Ham with Nuno is really tenuous, and I think a lot of people think that he may get sacked the second time this season from another team. They've made some purchases. They signed a couple of strikers. Castellanos, the player that used to play for NYCFC, and another Brazilian guy. I think I saw.
The guy that went to Spain? And
yes.
Then, yeah, okay. So he's there now?
He's been signed. I don't think he was there today.
All right.
So they've made some signings, but man, they are in. I mean, I can't figure out how West Ham got so bad. I mean, I never thought they were great to begin with, but I thought Nuno would go in there and really kind of like line it up and straighten it out, but he's really struggled, and they're down in the relegation zone, and losing to Wolves today 3-0, that's a bad look.
That was a 3 points, or at least a point that they couldn't let it get away. And now Forest is 4 ahead of them, by the way. That's the trouble.
You know, and for Burnley, that was an opportunity for them to really start to get themselves out of the relegation zone. If they had gotten a result today with West Ham dropping points, that would have helped get them at least to 18th. Yeah, but it didn't work out that way.
By the way, Burnley up and down, and it looks like another down, right? They've been the yo-yo team recently.
Probably, yeah. And then Arsenal and Bournemouth are playing each other right now as we speak. They're in the 52nd or 56th minute. Arsenal is now up 2-1. Declan Rice just scored a couple of minutes ago. Gabriel literally gave the ball to Bournemouth early, and Evan Nielsen scored in the 10th minute. And then about 6 minutes later, after a set piece, shocking news, Arsenal scored from a set piece, a scramble in the box, and Gabriel rectified his situation by hitting his own goal to make it 1-1, but they're up 2-1.
You know what would be fun? What would Arsenal's record be if you take away all set-piece goals? And to make it fun,
somebody's done this.
Also take away any set-piece goals they get scored on, okay, to make it fair.
Right.
And just do non-set-piece goals.
Somebody's put that table together in the league. If you took set-piece goals out for the entire league, I'll have to go back and find that. Somebody also did that for VAR decisions, like how people benefited from or
was
against
Liverpool
VAR.
running away with the chain.
Like VAR. But the interesting thing about the game today with Bournemouth is that Semenyo is playing for the Cherries because his deal with City has not happened yet. And Iriola said, we got to use you, man.
Yeah.
And so he's in the game and he's playing.
Do they play – you were saying this off air. Does Arsenal play City next week? No, because that's FA Cup week. Never mind. Never mind.
No.
Okay. Because I was
Chelsea plays City tomorrow, is what I said.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But so anyway, I'm assuming Semenyo will end up at City sooner than later. I was a bit surprised because that's a lot of money on the line. I mean, if he gets hurt, and Bournemouth can't sell him, that's a lot of
60 mil or something.
Yeah,
like
something like that. That's I think his buyout clause is 65 or 68, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot of risk in that. But Bournemouth trying to chase points and everything. As we said, down 2-1 to Arsenal right now in the 58th minute. All right, we'll take our break. When we come back, let's talk about that Chelsea situation. They're looking for a new dude, and we'll talk about that next year on the KickAround. Has the U.S. Soccer Federation come up with the most confusing World Cup slogan possible?
Can I look it up
before?
We will
discuss. No, don't look it up.
I'm not. I haven't.
Because I don't want you to look at it and then start thinking about it. Because you'll think about it and go, no, it actually makes sense. But when you read it the first time, you're going to go, that don't make no sense.
Okay.
All right, very good. Welcome back to the KickAround. We've been talking about the day in the Premier League. Arsenal is still up 2-1 over Bournemouth right now. But the big news of the weekend, as we are at the halfway point of the season, Andy. Yeah. We are 19
matches.
This is 20 today, right? Yes.
So, it's time for reflection as we're halfway through, and there's been a few surprises. Are you more surprised that Villa is second or Sunderland seventh?
Oh, Sunderland being seventh.
Yeah, because Villa's second.
Yes, and that is a surprise, especially considering their start to the season. I think a lot of people have forgotten that they didn't score their first goal until like week 4 or 5 of the season.
One thing for sure, you cannot. I was going to say you cannot make predictions, but your forte.
Me?
Yeah, is not predicting EPL tables. Your preseason predictions.
Sir, I want to remind you, I am the amazing individual that once correctly predicted that Liverpool would come second and lose to City by a single point.
That's been your one claim to fame in the prediction market. But you picked Liverpool to win it all.
This year.
Yes.
Okay.
Chelsea to finish second. We're about to talk about Chelsea.
Okay.
Arsenal third.
That's
By the
right.
way, Lars and I both picked Arsenal to win it all.
Right.
City fourth.
Right.
Villa fifth.
Uh-huh.
Forest seventh. The only one to put Forest in the top 7.
Okay.
Andy, Lars, and ChatGPT.
I regret the Forest pick. I still I'm going to hold and reserve my predictions and see how the season plays out. We're only halfway through, Andy.
So Chelsea could still finish second, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I also want to remind everybody I predicted that Arsenal was going to win Champions League this year.
Okay. I don't remember us predicting that, but fair.
I threw that out there as an aside.
As just okay.
Now, I did have Chelsea second.
Yeah.
Because I post Club World Cup, I had bought into Chelsea fever. I really thought Maresca had done some really interesting and good things, kind of putting his thumb on this team.
You said, Andy, they won the Club World Cup. They have to be favored to win EPL now, right? They have to be favored to win Premier League.
I said second. And look, here's the thing. I had not taken into my calculation that this is also Chelsea. And for some reason, much like my very own Manchester United, can't seem to avoid self-inflicted drama.
Controversy.
And controversy, as they say over there.
Yeah.
Yes. So Maresca is out. And this all comes after. So have you read all of the articles and kind of the insider debriefings from both the club and from his people?
Yeah.
The gist of it sounds like that Maresca was getting frustrated that he was being held accountable for results, but wasn't in control of his own available, who was available to play.
They weren't seeing eye to eye in who. But it went beyond who they were getting and signing and bringing to the roster. It was like
who could he pick?
Yeah.
Or who could he play for more than 60 minutes?
Because of what the medical team was also telling them.
Yeah. And I gotta say, that does sound a little wheels off to me. That because I'm Maresca had been criticized recently for substitution decisions. But now, in light of what's come out in the last week, you're beginning to wonder, well, is he making those substitution decisions because he was being told he had to? Which I think that's a really weird way to run a club.
It is, but if the club is investing millions and millions of dollars,
So this is why I think Chelsea is an interesting case study in modern football. Because ever since Bowley and Clearlake have taken this thing over, they have fundamentally changed what Chelsea is in many ways.
Which is an investment vehicle at this point?
Yes, because, when Abramovich owned it, it was like, I'm going to pour all my Ruski dollars into this thing, and we're going to just fire guys until we win stuff. And that worked. Well, now it feels like winning is an objective, but I don't think it's as clearly an objective or an end goal for this ownership group as is the business of soccer, meaning buying and selling of players and
the trophies will help your asset appreciate, but it's not the end all.
Yes. And so part of that is the type of people they're hiring. So, when Maresca got hired, the fan base, if I remember correctly, weren't super enthusiastic about why are you hiring a guy from Leicester?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's a former Guardiola guy, whatever. he's not a big name, and people were a little leery of him. And then, sure enough, as time went on under Maresca, man, the level of favor he had with the fan base was very violent.
Mm-hmm.
They were very regularly not really into him.
Mm-hmm. Until
he won Club World Cup or won some stuff or whatever. But now he kind of went on this run and wasn't getting all the results, and favor turned out again. But at the end of the day, they're not going to replace him with what we would consider to be an elite name.
No, and that's why this is. I can't figure the mindset out, or where the management's brain is at. But this is interesting, and I don't know if to me, Chelsea was having an okay year. They were top 4 until Liverpool had a little bit of a resurgence here lately and kind of overtook them, and now Chelsea's top 5. Top 5 probably gets you into Europe, which should be the goal for Chelsea, right? So if I ask you real quick, compared to last year at this point, are they better, worse, the same? The answer is they're worse.
Yeah, I get. I mean,
which was surprising to me.
Yeah, I would say I think they're playing better and more consistently.
But point-wise,
they're worse. Yeah, that totally checks out. So Maresca is out. They will play City tomorrow using one of their academy managers, who's going to fill in. It does appear all signals is that they're going to hire a guy named Liam Rossignol, who comes from their own company. He's at, is it Strasbourg? I think it is.
Comes from the ownership group.
He comes from so it's another team that Blueco, which is the company that owns Chelsea, also owns, and he's been coming through. And their sporting director is friends with the Chelsea sporting director, he's a young and kind of like big personality cat.
What if they bring Dave Roberts in to consult and maybe oversee coaching? Dave Roberts, the Dodger manager.
Well, I don't know how that would work, but my point is that I would assume Chelsea fans, especially the ones that have been Chelsea fans long before Todd Boehly ever showed up, they're going to be, I can't imagine they're going to be excited about hiring this young guy because so this is their 4th guy that they've hired since Todd Boehly.
That's the issue.
And Clear Lake took over.
That's the issue. And I remember, and the reason I bring up Dave Roberts is because of what I'm going to say here is when Boehly took over, he fired the manager pretty quickly. Remember? I think. And I was like,
it was Tuchel.
It was Tuchel.
Yeah.
He's going to bring in his own guy, and then they're going to be consistent. And this was me saying this because Dave Roberts has been with the Dodgers forever, and that's just how they do things, and it's been the opposite.
Right. So then they brought in Graham Potter, and that went haywire. And then they brought in Maresca, and now they're bringing in this dude. And what are the similarities between all of those guys is that the sense, I can't prove this, but my sense is that they are guys who the front office can dictate to. They're not the Tuchels or the Mourinhos or the Peps or the Klopp type of manager, the elite manager that's like, yes, I will come there. You can give me all your money, but I'm also running this thing. Yeah. And I think that is very much a change in how Chelsea historically operates from the managerial standpoint. And it does indicate that there is kind of a different idea and goal in terms of what this thing is all about.
Yeah, but those are the sporting directors. That's not Boehly.
Correct. It's easy for me to lay this at the feet of Todd Boehly just because he's kind of the face of all of this.
He's a lot less involved, I think, that we ever thought. We thought he was going to be much more involved. It's others. It's still ownership being like this.
Yes, there's a lot of incredibly talented. The roster is filled with talent, but you also wonder who was out buying Garnacho and players like that when they already had a lot of players already to begin with in the roster to fill out. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes from here. I know very little about this Rossignol guy. I know he'd done a lot of punditry.
So is this
TV
official
stuff.
Or is that the rumor?
No. All indicators are this is who they're going to be. And apparently sources from within Chelsea are like, yeah, this is who we're bringing over because he's part of our company and we all love him. So, so we'll see how that goes. And Chelsea do play
Chris
City
Armas
tomorrow.
is available too.
Yeah, and his AirPods. So Chelsea plays City tomorrow, so unfortunately we won't get to see Maresca managing against the team that apparently wants to hire him when they lose their manager, Pep, at some point.
That's another conversation.
Which is a completely different conversation. And so we'll unfortunately not get to see that. I have no idea how that game goes down. What are the Chelsea players thinking at this point? What is their mood and attitude going to be? Does the Chelsea season crater?
No, of course not. It's not going to crater. Come on.
Well, because so Maresca, in my observation, is Maresca was the lid on top of all these young, inexperienced, non-veteran kind of guys, and now you've got to get all of these guys to buy into this equally young dude to be their manager who they've never even heard of before.
I don't think there's going to be a cratering of the
season.
There's a lot of talent there.
I didn't say they were going to end up getting relegated, but will they end up in a Champions League spot?
Are they going to maintain at least 5th?
I don't know.
Yeah, because Man United, watch out. They're coming up.
My sense is until Maresca started making noise, I was under the impression that they were at least going to try to ride him out for the season.
How was he in the locker? Was he like that? You just never heard one way or the other.
I think the players respected him because he didn't put up with BS. He was the guy that came in and just kind of put his thumb on everybody and said, I'm not putting up with this stuff, and I'm going to get rid of the guys that aren't, playing the way that I want you to play. And corrected a lot of the problems that were going on with a very young roster.
Yeah, it's a fairly young roster, and it takes a certain kind of talent on the, not just with tactics, but off the field to run a roster like that.
Yeah, and look, if he was being told you can't play Cole Palmer for more than 60 minutes, and he's like, but Cole Palmer's healthy and fine. Yeah. Well, no, I'm sorry. The medical team is saying that the tests show us that his
or load. That maybe
recovery load is suboptimal.
Maybe their data, maybe they're modern that way, and they were looking. Load is the new thing coming, by the way, Peter. And when it comes to soccer and data and
load,
load is going to be a thing.
I believe it. I know. It's like Lars and his XG, man. It's all about the stats and the data.
Yeah.
And being able to measure all that stuff health-wise that we've never been able to track before with all the gadgetry and sensors and stuff you wear while you play that tracks all that for you. You can get all kinds of information we historically have not known.
Yep.
We also don't smoke at halftime anymore. So,
See, we've improved.
We've improved
analytics, man. In soccer, it's weird because it's not like baseball. You have a bunch of number stats, so you have to look at other things, and load is going to be one of them.
All right. Well, we just spent an entire segment just talking about Chelsea.
There you go, Chelsea fans.
So I never want to hear anybody say that we don't talk about Chelsea enough. So there you go. All right, when we'll come back, we got all the games to go through tomorrow. We got a couple other things. I want to talk about Sunderland for a second, but we'll run through all of that here next on the KickAround. Don't look now, Mr. Swift, but it is the year 2026, and you know what that means? The World Cup.
Oh.
Is happening this year. And we'll do World Cup Nerd, our favorite news segment here before the end of the show on Ye Olde KickAround. All right, we were talking about the day in the Premier League. We were discussing the Chelsea situation. Just to update you, Arsenal and Bournemouth are playing. It is now 3-2 in Arsenal's favor. They were up 3-1, but then Krupi has scored in the 76th minute, and so they are just about 5 minutes from, let's see, it's the 88th minute now, so we'll see how this ends up going. Arsenal probably going to hold on, I would guess, and keep their, 4 point?
Over Villa? They're 3 over Villa and 4 over City.
So they'll be, 5 or whatever. All right, so let's talk about other stuff. Mm-hmm. Including a large slate of games tomorrow, which will start off early in the morning with my Manchester United losing at Ellen Road to Leeds.
You getting up early to watch your team lose?
I will get up and watch the game at 6:30.
Let's talk about United for just a quick second because they are in 6th place now.
I don't want to talk about.
They're a top 6 club. Actually, they're top 5. They're just second to Chelsea on goal difference. And I'm going to look at our prediction predictions from last year. I picked them 4th. You didn't pick them in the top 7.
No, I think I had them 8th or 9th, I think.
Yeah, way down there. So you did not believe in your Manchester United.
No, and I still don't.
But they're in 6th. You don't feel like they've gotten better. You don't feel like they've shown...
No, there's been some improvements, but this particular... Unfortunately, what's happened in this particular moment is that United has gotten to its soft spot of its schedule where it really was lined up to collect points, and they have lost 2 of their best attackers to AFCON and another best attacker to injury and a couple of defensive players to injury, and so they're just missing a lot of parts at exactly the wrong time in their schedule.
Do you think their slight improvement is due to Amorim being a little bit more flexible?
I think some of it is him being slightly more flexible. I think some of it is just the players getting used to playing a newer the system that was so fundamentally different than what it was last.
But he's lined up with 4 in the back, or they've
once.
evolved into this. Yeah?
He did one.
Okay,
it's funny. I watched the game against Wolves, and they were playing so poorly, I spent the entirety of the game misidentifying the form. I thought they were playing 4 in the back. Mm-hmm. No, they started with his old 3 in the back system, but it was so wheels off
against the worst team in the league.
Against the worst team in the league. And that it just, I totally misidentified what they were playing. So, look, they're playing Leeds tomorrow. Going to Ellen Road is tough for anybody. Leeds are undefeated in their last 6 games. They've really looked good. Ever since Farke has switched to 3 in a back themselves, he's really changed the fortune for this team. Mm-hmm. And I will not surprise me if Leeds ends up winning this game by more than a couple of goals.
Oh, come on, Peter.
No.
God. Oh, come on.
Did you see United play against Wolves?
I did.
At home.
And I saw
awful.
Leeds and Liverpool play, and Leeds is a decent side.
Okay.
Yes.
So don't give me crap when I say that United may lose 2-0 or 3-1
Because when
tomorrow.
I say things like that, you get all over me, and look at you. Your 6th place team playing 16th place Leeds, and you're saying you're going to lose by multiple goals.
Andy's poor put upon Liverpool. All right, so that game's at 6:30. Then we got 4 other games coming up at 9 o'clock tomorrow, starting off with Everton hosting Brentford. By the way, Brentford is undefeated in their last 4, as is I don't know. I haven't looked up Everton, but Brentford's been on a nice little run, which is a cool story for a club that I think a lot of people thought, myself included, had a lot of questions about. They had lost their manager, their captain, one of their best attacking players. The guy they originally wanted to hire to be the manager ended up going someplace else, so they got like their 2nd or 3rd pick. Lots of questions for Brentford, but they've played really well.
They have. They're top 10.
And there's some really interesting and fun talent on that team.
Interestingly, they're above Spurs, which is where their coach went. So it's good for them. Brentford is a team that is put together by analytics, by the way.
It is. You didn't watch the Brentford Tottenham game the other day, did you?
No.
Oh man, it was
bad.
So I watched the first half of Brentford Tottenham, and I then flipped over and watched the second half of Sunderland City. Both of those games ended up as scoreless draws. Mm-hmm. Yet those 2 halves of soccer could not have been more different than the boringness of what was going on in the Thomas Frank derby versus what was going on with Sunderland and City, which, by the way, was actually a really good game.
Yeah, look, Sunderland's legit, right? I mean, I think at this point we can say they're a good team.
Is Granit Xhaka the best signing of the Premier League season?
Well, when did Sunderland last play? Because I watched that game.
That was the game against City. Yeah.
Yeah, just the other day.
Yes.
He's good.
He's so good. I hated him when he played for Arsenal, and
he wasn't that good. I mean, he was good, but he wasn't as imposing, and didn't bring as much to the game.
He is such a leader for this team. I was lucky enough to have seen them in person at Craven Cottage when my wife and I went over a month or so ago against Fulham, and seeing him play in person is even more impressive than watching it on television. Yeah. He's such a leader for that team, and he is doing the dirty work defensively that he needs to do.
But isn't it surprising
Yes.
because of the history at Arsenal? I mean, he wasn't always
his
there.
age, the mileage. I mean, coming back and playing midfield in the position that he plays in the Premier
Personality.
League is a big deal. I'm super impressed.
Yeah.
Super impressed. So anyway, that was that half between City and Sunderland, despite there not being any goals, was a really, really good game. So Everton and Brentford tomorrow at 9 o'clock. That is also on at the same time as Fulham hosting Liverpool.
Yeah.
Now, while Fulham themselves are undefeated in their last 4, Liverpool motoring along, undefeated in their last 7. Mr.
Yeah.
Swift.
But it's tough to play on the road against Fulham. Maybe a 2-goal loss. Maybe a 3-1 loss.
You think so? This might be the most embarrassing loss. Yeah. You're worried about
Craven Cottage, man.
He might be on the sidelines with Maresca, looking for a job.
Multiple goal loss here. No. Fulham's decent.
It's good to see Jedi back playing well for Fulham.
Yeah.
The U.S. needs him to be back in form by the time the World Cup comes around.
We'll talk about that.
Newcastle is hosting Crystal Palace. Now, the other big news of the week is that Crystal Palace has paid $47 million for Mr. Brendan Johnson from Spurs, who was not getting a lot of time. The Welsh international wasn't getting a ton of time under Thomas Frank, so they have passed him off for almost $50 million to Crystal Palace, who, by the way, needs players. They've really struggled with depth and everything. Glasner, somebody's trying to appease Mr. Glasner.
Hey, speaking of Newcastle, is Eddie Howe on the hot seat? Has to be, right?
I would think he is. Lars would tell you he has earned so much credit within the Newcastle system that he probably is not quite in the hot seat you'd think he would be.
How? Why the credit? I'm not trolling. I'm asking.
They won a trophy last year. They've really changed the fortunes. He's done a lot, and they have, when they are good, they're really good.
Just think the club aspires for more now.
But see, I would tell you that what the aspirations are largely tied to this idea that they are the richest club in the Premier League, and they're not spending like the richest club in the Premier League.
Okay, and we can't complain about that because we don't necessarily want that.
Oh, I don't.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I just, if you compare how Chelsea's gone about their business and Newcastle's gone about their business, you would have assumed many years ago that they would have been opposites.
Yep.
And then the last game at 9 o'clock tomorrow is Spurs hosting Sunderland. Now Thomas Frank's a guy who is very much on the hot seat.
Yep.
I think a lot of people are really surprised. This is an interesting story because we talk about managers who are successful at not the big six, and everybody's like, "Oh, they're in line for a big time job." And then they get the quote-unquote big-time job.
And it's different.
And it's different, and they don't do well. You think of Graham Potter is that kind of way, Thomas Frank at Spurs. And now with Areola at Bournemouth, a lot of people have him out there running around as a name that could go to multiple different top 6 clubs in the Premier.
Spurs?
Well, I don't know about that. But my point is that, there's a whole I guess it is a different level. Like, you think if you were successful at one of these smaller teams with lesser rosters, your job would be easier when you've got a much deeper roster of players to
but
pull
you're
from.
managing, it's a different
the
game.
pressure and everything.
Managing different players and expectations are different. Plus, if you're Brentford's manager, I'm telling you, that team, they're put together with analytics. The players they get for reasons, and managing is a different animal, managing Brentford as opposed to...
Yeah, I think the problem for Thomas Frank is he is a byproduct of trying to rectify all the stuff that Postecoglou was doing as a system. 2, he's missing a lot of important attacking players. James Maddison, Kulusevski is not available. Now, in fairness, he's also continuously putting out a midfield pairing that don't know how to pass or refuse to pass the ball forwards in Paulinho and Bentancur, who just either through direction or own personal will not play the ball forward.
What has he done? How has he put his stamp on this team? You can't say.
Well, I would. I think there are a lot of things that you saw him do successfully at Brentford that he's trying to do here, but it starts with them trying to fix their defensive issues.
Yeah, they have different players.
And they're just, it's not a good scene. And I mean, getting booed off the other day, in the tie against whoever we were talking about in a minute. Brentford. The traveling fans. Yeah. That's not a good look, man. It's will not surprise anybody if he's not there in the coming weeks. And the last game of the day is the 11:30 game, and as we said earlier, that is City hosting Chelsea. I don't know what you're going to get out of Chelsea. What the lineup looks like. Is it the same group of guys that Maresca was playing? What is their attitude? How do they, appear on the field after all what's going on? Do they play better? Maybe they play better.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Meanwhile, City just keeps prodding along, don't they? They're just like an institution. Oh yeah, we're City. One
of the most surprising things that has happened this year is how well Shirky has played. Who shouldn't have been a surprise because he's such a talent in every way, shape, and form. But I don't think it was unfair to wonder how long it would take him to get acclimatized to the Premier League, and would he do all the other things needed to be successful in England? And man, he is such fun to watch play.
Yeah, and Pep Guardiola. He was, remember last year, the talk was, is he done in Premier League?
Right.
He's finished. It's like time's passed him by. And here he is. The team is really a nondescript team in terms of compared to other City teams, but they keep getting the results.
Well, they drew against Sunderland the other day.
Sunderland's a good team, right?
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I 100%. I will not surprise. I still think this race is yet to be finished. Arsenal end up winning that game? I haven't seen the results.
They did.
Yeah, they ended up winning 3-2.
If City wins, they're 4 points back still at the halfway mark, a little bit over the halfway mark.
The thing to note is Arsenal has, by and large, gotten most of their big away games done for the season. They've already played at Liverpool. The only really significant away game they have left is having to go to City.
That'll be a big
and that's
game.
later in the season.
Yeah.
I think that comes up in March or April. I can't remember.
Plus, you have Champions League too, and who knows what it's going to do to these teams. Arsenal, City,
Liverpool. Most of these teams are just an injury two away from having lots of problems. Yeah. So, all right, there you go. There's lots of Premier League talk. We will end it there, Andy. Are you satisfied,
sir?
Very good.
Check mark.
And we got away with not talking too much about Liverpool, which you hate to talk about.
What's there to say? They're back to top four, and that's about where they belong, fourth place.
All right.
Right?
Very
no
good.
better, no worse.
I appreciate that. All right, when we come back, let's start getting into national team stuff. The Yanks. Let's catch you up on what's going on with the U.S. men's national team and discuss this new World Cup slogan. Next on the KickAround. We'll get into World Cup nerd, looking at the schedule, digging into all of the very fun minutia of the World Cup here coming up in about 10, 15 minutes. But first, let's catch everybody up on the U.S. men's national team, who do have friendlies coming up in the next few months. They got the Belgian game at the end of March.
They do. They play Portugal also at the end of March. And then before they play Senegal and Germany much closer to the World Cup. But
both of those games are being played at the Robots Anus in Atlanta.
Okay. Why? Why are you calling it this now?
Because I like to beat it into the ground because it's funny in my head.
Does it concern you that they're not going to play till late March? I guess that's okay.
That's the first window. Is there another window before then?
No. Right, I suppose
no,
that's right.
What's got me more concerned, Andy?
Yeah.
This last week, the U.S. Soccer Federation officially revealed the men's national team slogan for the World Cup.
I put it on Google. I haven't hit return yet. I just want to be able to read it once you tell it.
The phrase is...
Yeah. Drum roll.
Listen very carefully. Tell me if this makes sense to you.
Drum roll.
The U.S. men's national team
Okay.
Never chase reality.
Dun, 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 dun. Never chase reality, because you are so bad that if you chased reality, you would stink up the joint. What? I don't understand.
I
this.
don't either.
Right? Is that the first thing you think about?
So
right? That's the first thing I thought about.
When I saw it, I thought, okay, this makes it sound like you think you're so bad, you have to dream beyond your actual reality.
Right. Is there an explanation?
Well, yeah, so there was this whole it's all the marketing minutia that, Americans dream big and this, that, and the other. And it's like, no, the way you've worded this makes it sound like you think you suck.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Never chase reality. I'm thinking they describe it by saying the slogan emphasizes dreaming big and ignoring the odds despite some criticism. This is not good.
Like, who did they pay somebody to come up with this? Did they pay like a marketing firm to come up with it? Because when I read it,
how about our dream finally comes true, or something like that.
I never thought I'd ever find myself on the same team as Megan Rapinoe, who apparently was really critical of this the other day publicly.
Or something about proving ourselves, proving ourselves. Or
yes.
Now we prove it, or,
Yeah, welcome to soccer in our house or something. We
right.
call it soccer, you idiots.
Okay, well, maybe not that, but yeah. Yeah. Huh.
Never chase reality.
No, never chase reality.
That is the worst World Cup slogan.
Because you don't get out of the group stage if you chase reality. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. That is.
No.
That's it. At the very.
I'm not.
The
I'm
most
not
polite way is saying it's slightly clumsy wording.
I'm not fond of it. What's the? When did this come out? I haven't.
Last week.
What's the feedback?
Oh, I think a lot of people are very confused by it. Like I said,
confused is kind. That's being kind.
The first article I saw was something that quoted Megan Rapinoe, who was super critical of it.
Make your dreams a reality. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, Rapinoe was critical? Let's see what she said.
Yeah. And like I said, I never thought I'd find myself on the same side of the aisle as Megan Rapinoe, but here we are. It's a ridiculous phrase. I don't get it.
It implies a lack of self-belief, which is what she said. And I don't disagree with that.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
And so it begs the question, who were the people responsible for greenlighting this?
No, like dream big, for example, right?
Sure.
That's, yeah.
It sounds very self-defeating.
Do tax dollars go to pay for what the U.S.
No, there's no tax dollars involved in it. So anyway, all right. So that aside, all right. I feel much better to know that you're just as confused by never chase reality as I am.
maybe they were fixated on two recent injuries to like national team stalwarts, and maybe that's why they're.
It is funny how between now and the middle of June, fans of national teams all over the world spend their entire existence just clenching their buttocks together, hoping that their best players don't get hurt.
Yes.
And in the span of about 6 days, two of the most important players for the U.S. both got hurt.
Yeah, so
one worse than the other.
Right. We'll talk about the worst one here next. But first, Chris Richards. That one was scary, not because I don't think he's better than the other one we're going to talk about, but like the defense. What he means to the, right? Defensively, Chris
two
Richards
parts. One, he's the only center back that you have that you're like, all right, he's a lock.
Yeah.
Two, he got stretchered off under very weird circumstances.
So now they're saying 3 matches for Chris Richards, which is better than
some sort of laceration to his foot that required a lot of stitches. And now they're saying that his foot is still so swollen he can't put his boot on, which sounds very painful. All right. But he's back. He's okay. Yeah, it's not like it's a long-term injury.
This is very worrisome, this next one. And that's
the next one's a bit of a problem.
Tyler Adams, who's the 6th, the captain.
Most important player on the roster?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah,
I think there's an argument to be made that he's
still
because
he's a 6, and that's the holding midfielder position. You and I both know, we both believe.
No, we know
that that's the most important position on championship teams. And so this one is troubling because they say 3 months, which would put him
Torres MCL.
Yeah, not
medial.
the ACL, right? But 3 months to get back on the field and start playing 90, or 3 months to get back on the field?
I would say get back on the field.
Yeah. So now we're missing these late March friendlies. Then the next opportunity with the national team is like 2 weeks before the World Cup starts. And these
End
injuries,
of May, right?
Yeah. So this one's a little worried. And the other thing to look at too, this is why Chris Richards was also worrisome, because you have to look at who's next. Not a lot under Chris Richards, the way he's been playing at that center back position, but also at the 6. Who is behind Tyler Adams right now?
I think I feel a little better about that. I think Roldan has played very well for Pochettino of late. I think Tanner Tessman has a ton of promise.
As the 6?
I think he can pull it off if needed, or they can play, they can double pivot if they need to and double up a little bit, that they do a little less of when Tyler is back there. So I'm not as concerned about I'm way more worried about center back than I am midfield.
Yeah, okay.
Which is a weird place to be.
So had Chris
Richards
fan. Tore the ACL, you would have been goofing right now.
I'd be really freaked out. Have I proposed to you the crazy scenario that may happen in the knockout round? Have we talked about this?
No, we're going to talk about that in the next segment.
But that's specifically about what's going to happen in Dallas.
Okay.
Are you aware that there is a scenario that if the U.S. wins their group, based on the calculation of how the determination of who you play as a third-place team, because the U.S. is slated to play in San Francisco a third-place team.
A wildcard team.
If they win their group, there is a 66% chance that if they end up in third place in their group, it would be U.S. versus Canada.
Yeah, if Canada finishes third. Yeah.
Which is, if Italy ends up in their group, Canada could end up in third.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of injuries and stuff to pick up on and improve on.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
I'm saying look, I would love to have the United States playing in Dallas. We'll talk about this here in a second.
Yeah, hold this for it. Yeah.
But the idea of the U.S. versus Canada in San Francisco.
That's appealing to you too?
I think that with Jesse Marsh.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Lots of fireworks.
That would be – do you remember what is one of the best World Cup games we've ever had as the United States? U.S. versus Mexico in that knockout stage game back in –
in 2002?
Yes.
Yeah, that was what set off the good run.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic knockout stage game. So the U.S. versus Canada would be great if it worked out that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Andy versus Peter.
Sure. We'll place a bet. We'll bet lunch. How's that?
I'll get a big thing of maple syrup if we win.
We'll have Lars be the mediator for us. We'll watch the game together. Reasons to be optimistic, though. One is injury related, and that somebody's coming back from injury, and that's Jedi Robinson.
Yes, he's been playing well.
This is big. Because talking about a fall off from him to the next guy, it's
Arfston.
Big.
Yeah,
it's big, right?
It is.
So as the outside back,
especially in this
formation,
in this new the way he's playing with the 3 center backs, absolutely, that's a huge deal. One hundo.
And we got to get this Daniel Robertson, our Serie A expert, on to talk about this. But have you been keeping up with Serie A and one Christian Pulisic?
Man, I feel terrible for him because he keeps getting snubbed from best of lists, and he should totally be on them.
Like best of what, in Serie A list? No.
Top 100 players in the Guardian the other day.
Okay,
I
thought you meant in Serie A. He's getting Player of the Week in Serie A.
Yes,
Team of the Week.
Like larger accolades.
Got it. Okay.
And on the larger global scale. So.
Hey, pop quiz, Peter. Who's leading Serie A in scoring?
Christian Pulisic.
Wow, right?
It's crazy. It really is nuts.
It helps that your number 10 playing right behind you is
Luka Modric.
The
original Luka.
Hopefully we see here in Dallas. But
yeah.
Okay, so those are, for all the worries about Tyler Adams, if Christian Pulisic can keep this up, that's huge for the national team.
Hey, man, I'm saying until those two guys got hurt, the vibes on the team were very, very good. But with both those guys getting hurt, that definitely changes the mood as you move into the World Cup. But there's plenty of time for them both to get healthy. Hopefully everybody else stays healthy as well. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, let's get into World Cup Nerd next year on the KickAround. Andy, it's our song.
Do you go to sleep?
Do we have to stand up and put our hands over our hearts? Is that how this works?
Take your hat off. Just let it play out.
While we were in break, Andy and I have located the video that U.S. Soccer put out announcing "Never Chase Reality" as a World Cup slogan. So maybe since we have this extra segment coming up,
we're going to dissect it.
We can play it for everybody, and you can hear and judge for yourself. Maybe you think it's a perfectly acceptable phrase.
Convince us otherwise.
Right, exactly. Never chase reality. All right.
Hey, speaking of that.
World Cup nerd, Andy.
Yeah, speaking of never chasing reality, I have a question for you having to do with the national team.
Oh, I thought you were going to say odds of me getting tickets to go to a World Cup game.
Yeah, well, low, but for all of us. So pretend for a second that you did have tickets for that July 3rd round of 32 match in Arlington.
Okay.
That features the second place finisher of Group D against another team, which we'll look up here. Which means the U.S.
Belgium.
The U.S. could play here on July 3rd if they finish second in their group. Before we get into the segment in a deeper way, would you root for the U.S. to finish second so that you could watch them play live?
Are you saying would I root for them to finish second?
Yes.
Because I have tickets
to the July 3rd game.
To the July 3rd game,
and you could
versus them winning the group.
Yeah, and advancing that way. They're advancing either way.
Because if they finish, they play the second place team from Group G, which is Belgium, Egypt,
Iran.
Oh my gosh!
So we'll get to that in a second.
Oh my gosh!
Just independent of that,
right?
Would you root for it so you could watch your national team live in the World Cup?
You know, I think as much as I believe going to San Francisco and playing, even if it's Canada, as the alternative by winning Group D, would probably be the better path, because I think I've also done the math that it actually makes it an easier path in general and past that game.
And then maybe you could say, well, I'll root for them to get to the semis, in which case they would play here.
They would play here,
but then they'd have to win 3 games.
But they'd have to win 3 games. Yeah, I have to. I gotta say, if I had tickets to that game, and I thought there was a chance the U.S. could play in it, I would probably secretly root for the U.S. to come in second.
Maybe like draw instead of win them a game or something like that, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So
what would you do?
It'd be fun to watch the national team play live, but
in a World Cup.
Yes. But if you want the team to go far, you'd root for them keep winning, right?
Yeah, especially.
But I don't want him to play Canada, though. So now that you presented that option, I'm like, I don't want that scenario either.
You don't need that stink.
So we all know, we've talked about this a lot, how the U.S. could play here in Arlington on July 3rd if they finish second in their group. And we are hosting here in our backyard 2 round of 32 games and a round of 16 match before then hosting a semi. And anybody could play that semifinal, right? I mean, depending on how the groups all play out and who plays in the knockout rounds, that semifinal could be played by anybody. But it's interesting to look at possible matchups that we'll get here. And this is all for those that may have tickets to those games here in Arlington. Who could play here if things play out a certain way? And there's some juicy matchups that we could get. But let's start with the U.S. first, right? They finished second. They could play, perhaps, Belgium, which is a rematch
of the game that we watched down at, by the way, which is the game we all watched at Victory Plaza on the big screen, and we ticket theatered that thing.
The Tim Howard game.
Yeah, the Chris Wondolowski miss.
So you can look at it both ways, right? Okay, I guess I'm the glass half full guy. You're the glass half empty guy. Okay. And then you could have the U.S. play Egypt and Mo Salah. That'd be fun.
Wondolowski was put on the roster to do one thing and one thing
score
only.
that goal.
And he didn't do it. So give
somebody
me a break.
somebody hasn't gone over it. We could, but Belgium would have to finish second. They'll probably finish first in that group. We could get Egypt, Mo Salah. That'd be fun, right?
That would not be a team I would want the U.S. to have to play.
But a very realistic matchup could very well be, if the U.S. finishes second, is Iran.
If they finish second in Group G.
Yes.
In the U.S. versus Iran.
On July 3rd.
At the Death Star on July 3rd would be
that would
unreal.
Be interesting, to say the least. So who else is in the U.S. group? Well, if the U.S. finishes first in their group, then it's Australia, Paraguay, or perhaps the other team.
The team that we've yet to find out, which could be somebody. What is the likely team that's
Turkey, right?
Oh, Turkey. Yes.
Yeah. Turkey's the likely team.
Yeah.
To advance out of there. So it could be Kosovo and Iran, and that would be kind of crazy. So that you can see why that round of 32 game, if it's the U.S. that's involved, is a little bit juicier, right? Even though you'd have to root for them to finish second instead of first.
And if because I'm a big believer into like trying to predict what the script writers have written, pre-written for everybody.
You're thinking U.S. Iran, right? Is that what you're thinking?
That just seems
July
so
3rd.
Obvious
in the heartland.
Yes, that just seemed the U.S. winning their group does not seem like a likely script.
Right. Yeah.
The U.S. coming in second, completely plausible. The U.S. having to play Iran in Dallas the day before Independence Day on its 250th birthday, no less.
Yes, that's it. Right? The script writers are in total control.
That's totally going to happen.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so we've determined that match. Now let's go to the other round of 32 game that we can get. The odds that Germany finishes second are not terrible. They have a fairly easy-ish group. Curacao, Ivory Coast, Ecuador. Ecuador's tough. I can see how Ecuador finishes first and Germany second. Remember, Germany didn't even get out of group play last round. So
anything's possible.
Yeah. Now, they would play France if France finishes second. We could get Germany, France. Now, remember, France is the group of death, right?
Yes.
So it's not like there's a chance that France and Germany both finish second in their group. And we would get that game here.
I 100% agree. And don't forget, in the group with France is Senegal and Norway. And even if you don't get France, if somehow you got Germany versus Norway, Germany versus Senegal, either one of those, any of those games is a World Cup baller.
Yeah,
right
Germany
there.
against Holland.
Assuming,
not Holland the country, Erling Holland, the goal scorer.
Right, exactly. Now, again, the odds of Germany not winning Group E do seem pretty distant. Although, to your point, they didn't even get out of the group last time.
And Ecuador, don't discount Ecuador.
This is where I'm going to lean on your
America. This is a legit team, very athletic, and the weather's not going to be an issue for them. So it'll be a little bit more of an issue for Germany. I have to look and see where they're playing those matches. But
hold on, I was going to keep going.
Well, yeah, where does Germany play Ecuador? Give me the city.
Hold on. Just keep talking.
So the other possibility, if Germany does win that group and Curacao finishes second, that we get Curacao here. And why is that a big deal? Because Curacao happens to be the smallest nation to ever qualify for a World Cup. And that's pretty historic. And imagine if they advance in second place, the media attention behind them, because this would be the little engine that could, and they would play here. So that would be a pretty cool story. But I don't think I think it's either going to be Germany or Ecuador finishing second, and there's a chance that they play Erling Holland and Norway or France in that game here, which, again, any one of those combinations I think is a great match, right?
Yes.
Did you figure out where they're playing?
Yeah, hold on. It's like the FIFA website.
Okay, why are you on that?
Well, because I was
Wiki?
on Wiki and
okay, I'm on Wiki now, and
Wiki
Germany and Ecuador play in New York.
Oh, that's right. Houston, Toronto, and New York. So the Ecuador game is outdoor at
5.
This says
4
3
local?
o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, so 3 o'clock, so 4 p.m.
4
local.
there.
So that's in the heat.
So if they have a heat wave in New York, that game favors Ecuador. Germany finishes second.
They play Ivory Coast in Toronto in the afternoon, and they play Curacao in Houston indoors as their opener.
Germany
does, yes.
Yeah.
So they win Curacao, right?
Yeah.
Then they got to go play
in Toronto. Let's say
don't
they
know
beat
what you're gonna
Ivory Coast, but Ecuador's also doing the same. It comes down to that Ecuador-Germany game.
Yeah.
So there's a chance we see Germany-France. That's the thing there. That would be a huge
I would
monster
take Germany-Norway. I would take Germany-Senegal. I would take Germany.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
And then we have the round of 16 game as well.
Which is officially labeled as on the schedule as the winner of match 95 versus the winner of match 98.
So this is, we talk about the July 3rd game being the big ticket, obviously England, Croatia, the group stage game that is like the weightiest, right? And then the July 3rd game, which could have the U.S. national team. But this ticket could get you some pretty big games. Now, the game, Portugal and England could play each other, and the winner of that would advance. Or Colombia and Croatia could play each other, and the winner of that would advance. But it's Spain that if they finish first in their group and then win their round of 32 game, we would get Spain here in that round of 16. That's interesting. Could be Spain against Portugal. Could be Spain against England.
I mean, either one of those is amazing.
But we could also have the two GOATs going at it here in Arlington in a World Cup
Portugal
knockout.
and Argentina?
Portugal and Argentina
really
could face each other in the round of 16.
All right, so what has to
Arlington.
happen for that game to come together?
Argentina, so let's look at the groups. Portugal and Argentina would have to finish second in their respective groups and then just win their round of 32. But that could be against Spain. One of them would face Spain.
Now, Portugal is in a group with they've got they both Uzbekistan, Colombia, and a to be determined. Argentina has Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. The odds of both of those teams coming in second,
right?
One of
low.
them are okay odds. Both of them coming in second, extremely low.
But there's a chance.
There is a chance. Yeah. Look, I think at the end of the day, the thing that has happened, and I don't know if everybody understands this, is that we as a market, Dallas-Fort Worth, have been blessed with one of the most amazing, like, on the books set of games in terms of the games we know we're getting, but the potential of what we could possibly get in the knockout stages is, I mean, it could be one of the best run of World Cup matches any one city's ever had in the history of the World Cup.
Look, Portugal, if they finish second, will play the second place finisher of England, Croatia, in that group. England or Croatia, one of them will probably finish second.
Yeah.
And there's a chance Portugal finishes second in their group with Colombia and Uzbekistan and I don't know. The point is we could have the winner of a Ronaldo against England or Croatia. Croatia could come back and play here another time.
Yeah, so the thing I would tell everybody is if you haven't gone into the ticket purchasing system yet and signed up for your account, where we're at in the ticket lottery process is the third round, I think this is, which means you go into the portal, you make your account, you go to what is called the random draw, you click it, and then you go through and you pre-select tickets for specific games and specific venues. You give them your credit card, and so you say, I want 2 tickets for Croatia, England, and I want them in category 1 at $650 a pop or whatever it is.
Here's my left hand.
Here is my credit card number.
Okay.
And if they pick your name, they just go ahead and process that purchase for you. You've approved it. Now, you don't know if you're getting $650 seats at midfield or in category 1 over in the corner.
But you're in the building.
And so the point to this is while you have no idea what those knockout stage games are here in Dallas, if you're going to go in that portal and make a choice, I'm telling you, it would be smart and behoove you to pick that July 3rd game.
Yeah.
And also that round of 16 game.
If Spain finishes first and Argentina finishes second, they play each other in the round of 32 to see who advances and plays here.
I'm telling you, I know people are really leery, myself included, to put a bunch of money on the table and go, okay, FIFA, take my money.
Yeah.
But that is the way to, right now that's going to be the cheapest way to get into those games. It's not going to get less expensive.
Yeah, the A-level games, no. The B-level games will.
Well, Dallas doesn't really have any B-level games. That's the problem.
Yeah, we did so
We
well.
all said we're going to get 5 group stage games. At least one of them's going to be a dud.
Yeah,
none of them are duds.
No. They're all good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
all right.
Good matchups.
Good stuff, Andy. All right, hey, look, everybody, Kick-Around fans, we got a bonus segment. Let's do the dribble next year on the Kick-Around. I don't typically bring the French Ligue 1 to the table here on the Kick-Around, but tomorrow, 1:45 is an interesting matchup as literal next-door neighbors, PSG and Paris FC, play each other for the first time. And have you seen
FC?
So I don't know if you've seen this photo, but the stadiums literally are 44 meters apart.
Wow.
And when you see the picture of the two stadiums next to each other, it looks like something somebody made in AI. It doesn't look real, but they are across the street from each other.
Look at you, a little trip to Paris, weekend trip to Paris, and now you're talking about Ligue 1.
That's right.
All
I'm
the
an
time.
expert.
Yeah.
So it's fun to me that those two stadiums are so close to each other and they're playing each other.
Did you buy yourself a PSG jersey?
No, I didn't.
Do you have a new favorite French team now that you've been to Paris?
No, although if I did, it would be whatever team Tanner Tessman is playing for.
Okay, fair.
Which is Lyon.
Do you find yourself craving Paul Bear's steak frites like I do?
Boy,
all the time. Yeah.
What an amazing meal that was.
Yep.
For sure. All right, so we were discussing earlier in the show this stunning new marketing campaign that the U.S. Soccer Federation has put out.
Quite the word to use for
it.
it.
It's the phrase. What would you call this? Like the catchphrase or the
slogan? It's the team slogan.
The team slogan going into the World Cup for the men's team is never chase reality.
It's like when the players huddle up right before the whistle, the kickoff. They'll never chase reality. Who's the captain? Is it Pulisic or Tyler Adams?
It's probably Tyler.
That's what he's going to be saying in that huddle before they break.
Now, they revealed this back on the day of the draw, and it escaped Andy and I when we did the show. I think, Andy, you may not even have been here. I think you were in MLS Cup that day. Mm-hmm. So this is really our first time to talk about it. But to be fair to the Federation and the creators of this thing, I thought we would play the audio from the inspirational video.
This is not a bit. This is the real audio.
This is the actual audio, so everybody just give this a listen, see what you think.
Reality says the odds are stacked against us. To think our men can ever raise the world's biggest trophy. Be the first soccer team to beat them at football. But here's the thing about us. Refusing to accept reality is kind of our thing. Reality told us to stay grounded. We built planes. We walked on the moon. Reality told us not to dream, but we stand united, chasing legacy. Being unrealistic, that's not a flaw. It's a force. It's a fuel. When the world says you won't, our fans say, I believe that we will win. We haven't lifted every men's trophy yet, but we have carried this fight for decades with enough grit to make the doubters eat their words. And when we spill blood in the name of the crest, it's not blind belief. It's how we play, the U.S. way. So no, we're not realistic at all, and we're proud of that. Because if you want to be great and make history, chase dreams, chase greatness, chase legacy. Never chase reality.
We need to show more quality and fight.
Is that Pochettino there?
Yes. All right.
How about Sorry, but
the video, when you see it with the video, it's much more effective because it's a lot of great classic U.S. men's national team footage.
yeah, and when you add those other lines, like,
But I'm still not sure it makes any sense as a standalone slogan.
how about now is our time? Like, the tournament is here in our house.
Anything is possible?
Anything, yeah. So my one issue I have with it, and just from somebody, that has worked in the marketing world for a while, adding a negative word to a slogan typically
is a bad idea.
Is less than ideal.
Yes.
I understand what they're trying to do, but never chase reality. Just you start off with a negative thought, and it's just not an uplifting slogan.
It's not. It doesn't roll off the tongue very well. And two, it's standalone by itself. If you don't say all the other components to it or see the video with it, the contextual part of it is, wait a second, the reality. So you're saying the reality is that we're not very good,
right?
Or we're never. It's not possible for us to achieve greatness or something, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I don't mean to beat it into the ground.
No.
It
makes a lot more sense when you hear it with the other phrases that they have surrounding it. But that the reality is that's not how it gets told, right? All we're going to hear is never chase reality. The other parts aren't.
No, 100%.
Really.
Yes, 100. And I do think it's interesting that since they announced this, their usage of it has been almost non-existent. Like, I haven't seen them pushing this beyond this initial video they put out the day of the draw.
Plus, if you're Uncle Sam's Army, what do you do? How do you sing this? Never chase reality. Never chase reality. It just doesn't.
I love hearing Andy sing.
Doesn't really go.
Yeah, it's very clunky and awkward and not my favorite thing in the world.
But good thing slogans don't win games, right?
Yes. My favorite part.
Tyler Adams being healthy is what wins games.
What you can't see on the radio is in the footage. This is pretty funny. I don't know who's by the way, they could have gotten somebody better to narrate it too.
Yeah, no, that's the guy from Saturday Night Live.
Okay, that's a terrible choice.
Marcelo Hernandez.
Okay,
comedian.
Again, terrible choice. It's not a good voiceover. But when he says, "When you bleed for the crest," it first off is Diego Luna with the busted nose bleeding everywhere.
All right.
And then there are two more shots of bloodshed, both of which are Brian McBride.
Oh.
The World Cup game where he got his face busted open, and then the game versus the Dos a Zero game in Columbus I was at, the original Dos a Zero when he got his eye banged up and got the big, giant, fat black eye.
Name dropper.
Well,
I could have just said it's the game, the two Dos a Zero in
Columbus.
Could have,
but I was there.
Good for you.
I was there.
Was that your greatest U.S. national team moment?
Oh, 100%.
Like personal moment?
Being at that game, you knew that night when you were at that game, you were at a special moment in the national team.
That's why you got to root for them to finish second, so you can see your boys play live in Arlington.
So we can see it again.
No.
Yeah, that would be.
No. How about this? Root for them to finish first, so you can watch them play the semifinals here.
So Clint Dempsey drew a line in the sand and said, "Hey, you got to get out of the group." And that seems like the most ridiculous thing to say when more teams will get out of the group than not.
Yeah.
With the way this tournament is set up.
8. How many teams will not? 8?
Yes. Out of yes.
Something
There's
like
32 teams going through. 8 teams will not. So yes, you should get out of your group one way or the other.
More than that. 12 and 4, 16 teams will not.
Is it only 16? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I'm doing my math wrong.
The last place finishers also don't advance.
Right.
Okay,
exactly.
We got it.
Yeah, you did it. All right. Very good. They're gonna get out.
Yeah. Yes.
They're going to get out, and they're going to be...
Because they are not chasing reality.
Andy, never
chase reality. Attract.
All right, it's great talking to y'all again. It's fun soccer talking on the radio. 100. Thanks to Mr. Dixon for tickers. Thanks to EA for producing. And thank you to Trammell for running the board. Hopefully we're back next week, probably again at noon, I'm going to guess. But P1's in the meantime, as we always say, go on out there, get stuck in, and win your 50s.